Welcome back to the Mindcrack server. Today we are going to do something special. We are going to build a single house. I know, mind blown. Hold on to your hats, guys. It's going to be incredible. Now, all jokes aside, we are going to do this in a slightly different way than usual. You see, in our village here, eventually we're going to have villagers roaming around, tens of them, you know, being farmers and traders and shopkeepers and whatever, they're doing the jobs of the village, or they're representing the jobs and the families of the people that live in the village. But as a player, what is my role in the village? It's a question. And I suppose I could be some kind of mayor, or I could be some kind of leader in the village, but designing rules for characters which really don't have much in the way of advanced AI can get a little boring. So, if I want an actual job in the village to do actual stuff, that's kind of a builder, I would say. So I'm going to open up a construction firm, and we are going to build our first house under the name of Ads Construction. Basically, I'm going to be a contractor today. It's also worth noting that I've never been a contractor, and I'm only going to contract the jobs to myself because I'm the only one here. But that's what we're going to do. So, as a contractor, what is the first thing that I do? Well, we're going to have to designate jobs to the architect. As the architect, what do? Well, we come to the job site, and we have a look around here. So we see that we have a sloping area of land which backs on towards these trees here. These trees, they could be removed. That is entirely possible. However, that is a little bit expensive. We have a whole bunch of grass which we can easily clear out. We may want to bring some land in up here and have the building at this level, or we could bring some land down and have the building at a slightly lower level. However, I think we're probably going to want to extend the land out here. That's going to be our plan. We're going to probably build in this area. Let's mark off our work site here, just to have an indication of rough size. And we'll probably come down. We might end up extending the land to about this far, and then over to here. That would line up just here, I believe. Excellent. Okay. So let's just have a quick look here at our area. It's a sizable area. The building will probably end up being a bit smaller, but as a plot of land, this is a sizable area. So let's go ahead and go back to the contractor and be like, hey, Mr. Contractor, we have sized out an area for the land. I'm going to write up some blueprints, but go ahead and start clearing out some land. Contractor will be like, all right, thank you very much. I will contact the excavator, and we can get rid of some of this plant life and other debris. All right, says the architect. And the contractor goes, and he goes to the excavator, and he goes, hey, listen, we've got an area of land that we're going to clear out. Could you come over and do that? Sure thing, Mr. Contractor. Okay, let's go do that. So as the excavator, the debris clearer, I don't know what kind of name they would have. The builders, honestly, would probably end up clearing the land, as far as I know. Like I said, I've not ever been a contractor or a builder or anything of that nature. But we would come along, we would do our job. We'll probably clear all the way up to the torches. Everything in between the torches here will get removed. Something along like that. So that's the area marked out between the torches, and then we would just clear out the area in the middle here. And anything valuable that we find, such as the seeds, they could maybe be sold to the farmer, or just disposed of if we have too much of them. Whichever is more suitable at the time. But there we go, we've got the vegetation cleaned out. And then we need to... The architect has said we'd like to extend the land out towards this area. Keep it a natural looking slope, don't square it off completely. Maybe just extend it slightly to follow this curve. And then over to here, and then back up to join the rest of the land. We could bring in some dirt from off-site if we wanted to, but again, that's expensive. We've got to bring the dirt in and place it all down. And the architect does want to add a foundation to the building. So we're going to go back to the contractor and say, hey, look, we've got the area cleared out, Mr. Contractor. Just need to know where the building size is going to be, and then we can start clearing some dirt. Alright, I'll go to the architect, I'll see what the architect says. So we go off to the architect. Mr. Architect, how big is the building going to be? Well, I've drawn up some blueprints. Let me have a look at the area, and we'll see how it fits. Alright, so the architect comes along, and he marks off an area here. He might mark it in fence. This kind of looks a bit like construction-y stuff. But we could do like we're going to do an odd-numbered building. Let's just kind of mark it up to here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between, so 7 wide. And then maybe it would come like 9 down this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Yeah, it's a nice square building. It fits in the plot of area that we, or the plot of land that we figured out. So this would mark the walls. You know, it gives it a sizable amount. The roof would be yay high, I suppose. We could even do 2 stories if we needed to. But as a foundation goes, this will probably be it. So we'll go back to the contractor. Say, okay, contractor, we've got the area marked out. We can start digging the foundation. All right, architect, I'll talk to the builders and whatnot. So we got an area for the foundation. We can go dig that out. All right, we'll go dig that out. So we'll come over here and we'll start cleaning out some of this dirt here. So we know we can remove basically anything within this fence post area. Like so. So then instead of bringing in dirt from off-site, we're actually going to be using the dirt that we have on-site that we were clearing in order to fill in this new area. So we know we're going to want to at least include this particular fence post. So we'll put a bit of dirt under here for now. And we know we're going to want to include at least this bit of fence post. And just to have a sturdy foundation, we'll probably want to go around the outside. So we'll do that around the outside. And in fact, the foundation will be running under the fence post. So we can definitely remove these pieces under the fence post here. We'll come up to this edge here. We'll maybe fill in along there as well. And we'll just bring this out, you know, in that natural curve that the architect asked for. Something along the lines of that. And then we'll bring it out along there as well. We can fill in here. That fills in most of the area. We'll use some of the dirt that we have remaining just to fill in that plot. Maybe some of it spills out accidentally into the outside the plot. Nobody really minds, it's just a bit of dirt. It's okay. Might fill in just next to this tree here as well. Ideally, we don't want to have any waste, because getting rid of waste, that's expensive. We don't want to have the cost of getting rid of the waste. We'd rather use it all on the job site itself. We have about 4 pieces left. You know, it's an amount. It's okay, I suppose. We can live with that. So we'll just even end up using it all. Fantastic. All right, we got rid of all the dirt. We chucked it outside of the area a little bit. So then we're ready for the foundation to be poured. So we'll come along, and we're still the builders right now. So the builders can definitely do the foundation. We're going to mark out the area for the walls themselves in cobblestone. Like so. Just got a little bit of spillage there, but that's okay. And we'll mark out this area here. Alright, there we go. That's our foundation set up. We want to pour a floor in, so let's get some stone slabs. We'll make a nice floor here. And we may run out of material. But that is a-okay, because as a construction crew, we actually come along with all the supplies we might be needing. So we'll set up a little bit on the job site here just to say, hey, we got a furnace, we got a chest if we need it, we got a workbench as well. We'll light that furnace up with a little bit of coal, just a little bit. We don't need a huge amount. And we'll get some cobble smelting there. It is nighttime. As workers, we don't work at night. We work at the minimum amount possible. So we are going to go to bed. And we'll come back in the morning and continue our job. Well, it is the next morning, and it's a cold morning, so we're going to crowd around the furnace here. We'll drink our tea, drink our coffee, whatever we have. in as a builder. But then we'll grab the supplies here that we have cooking up, and we'll make some more foundation material or flooring material, you know, and then we'll just continue the rest of the floor here, something along like that. And we do know that the architect wants to remove these fence posts and have this as a wall, so we'll come along, we'll build a couple of bits of wall here, just to mark off the area a little bit better for when the architect comes along again, decides where they want the rest of the building to be. So the architect will come back to the site and say, hey, we could probably do a door right in the middle here. Or maybe off to the side. We'll do a door slightly off to the side here. How about that? Okay, we'll add a door in here. There you go, that's a nice little doorway. And then we may come along, we decide, okay, we're going to want this to be maybe just a one-story building for now. So we'll build up a little way, and we'll jump off. And we'll build up a little way here, and we'll jump off. And we'll build up a little way here, and we'll jump off. Alright, do we want any windows? The architect will come along, he might decide, well, could put a window there, but for now, just put the base of the wall on. We can look at windows later. We can knock out a little bit of the wood to put the windows in. So I think, all right, that's fine. We'll get the base of the walls in, and the construction crew finishes off that. Now we're going to be coming to the walls, and we're going to be coming to the roof. This is where this idea gets a little bit weird. I've been talking to myself a lot for the past little while. But this is where it gets a little bit extra weird. So, normally in Minecraft, if you want to build a roof, you might have these walls built up, or you might not. But let's say you have these walls built up, and it's 3 high. And you want to come along and build a roof, and you just come back, you've got a 3 high building, and you have to either pillar up, or ender pearl up, or place some temporary ladders to get up. However, in the real world, we use something called scaffolding. So my idea is, why don't we build scaffolding to get up onto the roof? So we might build something along the lines of this, like so. And then we are going to... I'm assuming we can't put ladders on fences, right? No. Can we put ladders on half slabs? No. Okay, so we're going to need to use full blocks for that. That's fine. Question is, do we want to go any higher? I'm not entirely sure yet. Let's get a bit more jungle wood here. And we'll build up a nice base to our scaffolding here. We'll get rid of this torch as we don't need it. And we'll also go to bed because it's nighttime. So now that we're back here, we'll continue our scaffolding up a little ways. And we may only want it to come to about this height, but we do need to safe it off completely here. And we'll build the actual scaffolding part along here as well, or whatever it is, the walkway part of the scaffolding. Don't know the technical term, if it has one. I'm assuming it does. Somebody's probably given it a name somewhere. And then we'll just build the part down to the bottom here, like so. So then we have this nice bit of scaffolding that we can use to access the roof extremely easily. Let's go along, and we're going to actually start implementing the roof that we're going to need on this building. So we're going to grab some of our acacia wood here. We'll grab like 18 of it for now. And we'll make some stairs. So we're going to have a nice red roof on this building, just for a bit of fun, bit of character. And we'll come all the way up to the top here. And then we'll probably place another block here. We'll go up another block. And we'll start messing this up completely, actually. There we go. That's the start of our roof, the first block placed. And we're going to want another block just over there. And that's going to be the start of our roof. However, we are going to need a way to get onto the roof. So let's place another slab here. So then we can just jump up a little bit. And this can be pretending to be connected to the main part of the scaffolding like so. You just jump up here and then we can start working on the roof proper. Fantastic. However, this is the first time doing this, so there is a couple of mistakes. We're going to need to remove that and remove that because we're going to need to place some roof there, and some roof there, and some roof there. Okay. But then we can probably climb up this part of the roof and that'll be fine. Let's continue our roof design up here. Just a standard roof design that we use so often. Over on the other side here, we're going to want to do something of much the same. Apart from, we want to do that part right. There we go. And we can probably just climb over the roof here. In fact, we need to get rid of this ladder, or this fence post. Replace it with that. And continue up the roof like so. And then once we come to the middle, we can place some more acacia wood here. And we'll continue this all the way to the end of the building. To where we need it. Up to there. And then we can start building a bit of a roof down. This is not structurally sound right now. But, you know, Mindcraft physics, it works. Oops, we fell off the roof. We need some harnesses, otherwise OSHA's going to get us. We are going to need to chop down this tree. Let's pretend like we got planning permission to chop down this tree from the city. In a village this size, we don't really need planning permission. That's some weird block like there. There we go, we'll dig that down. Alright, so that's the start of our roof. We may want some scaffolding on this side, however, for right now, we can reach it. Perhaps in a bigger build, we're going to want scaffolding basically surrounding the entire building. It also leaves us the opportunity for when I am building something in the village here, I can kind of leave it half built, go build something else. The episode will kind of be different segments recorded over multiple days instead of me working on something and being, hey, we're going to build this today, and we build it, and then the next episode, hey, we're going to build this today, and we build it. Instead of having to see a project through to the end, basically, we can kind of just be like, hey, we're going to start building this today. Or I can still be, hey, we're going to build this today. And you see it being built, basically, start to finish. However, in the background, other buildings are changing, being half-built. Just from a recording's perspective, it mixes it up for me, you know? You'll see stuff technically out of chronological order, but in an order that makes sense for what we're doing in the village at that particular moment. But I think that is going to look quite cool, because if we have, say we work on a bigger building, we have various gaps of scaffolding here, and then up higher we may even have like another whole layer of scaffolding, maybe a bit higher than this, but you know what I mean, to work on layers higher in the building. I think that would look quite cool to see that built up, then the building being built within it, and then the scaffolding being torn down. I think that add a special level of something. It did also occur to me that we should probably have a look at how this scaffolding looks with a shader. It would make some interesting shadows depending where the lighting is, I would imagine. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. Now that we have the roof built, we can use the scaffolding to build these higher sections of walls. At a building of this level, it's not a huge thing, because we can reach the top of the building. However, something like the mill over there, which we built at the last episode, or a couple of episodes ago, to reach the top of the building, to get back onto the roof, that was always a pain to do. If we have a 2, maybe even 3-story building with different levels and whatnot, to keep jumping up to get to the roof, that's always a bit of a pain, especially that water wheel as well. Several times I was up and down, up and down, up and down, trying to get the materials I needed and get the shape and make sure it all looked right. So if we can build some scaffolding, I think, one, like I said, it's going to make it look very interesting when we're building something. But two, it's also going to serve as a practical thing as well. We can use it to scale the walls and build what we need to build. So I've just been kind of thinking here how we would have the scaffolding as a functional thing. Having the ladder on the inside definitely makes a lot more functional sense. It's unfortunate that it leaves a gap there. We could use trapdoors, I suppose, maybe. We could bring the scaffolding out, have the ladder on the side, perhaps. We'll have to kind of plan that out as we build more of these scaffolding structures in the future. But certainly, having this complete here, this bit of scaffolding, it definitely gives you more of the impression of how it would look with an entire building surrounded by the scaffolding. I think it will definitely look really visually interesting, to be honest, for a temporary structure. Anyway, I'm going to build the walls, and I'll be back in a second. Well, this is just going to be a nice, quick episode to tantalize your eye holes. We're going to bring our scaffolding down. Let me know what you think about the idea of using scaffolding. I think it's going to be something that's going to be rather interesting. Like I said, it makes my job a little bit easier. I can kind of mix things up a little bit with recording, work on something for a few hours and go do something else for another few hours and come back, do this for another few hours, and just leave scaffolding up so it's kind of, you don't see half-built stuff in the background of videos, you kind of see scaffolding in the background of videos, ooh, there's going to be something there in the next few episodes if it's not been shown already. So let's go watch some more videos. Yeah, just a little bit of a teaser, so to say. Adds a bit of continuity to the videos, which would otherwise lose a whole bunch of continuity due to being stuff recorded out of sequence, essentially. Anyway, guys, like I said, just a quick little episode. I'm going to dedicate this little building here to one of the TAD supporters. Thank you guys so much for your support on TAD. Very much appreciated. You can go and support on TAD at givetad.com/Adlington for completely free. Every little bit helps over on TAD. Something coming up later in the week. Keep an eye on Twitter for it, but if it's not going to be on Wednesday, it will be on Saturday at 11 PM Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing a Hitman livestream over at twitch.tv/AdlingtonPlays. Very special Hitman livestream, as Hitman has released a Christmas level, which will have us dressing up as Santa and killing Santa. Like, how cool is that? And we will also be raising money for a cancer research charity in the UK as the free update of this Hitman level. That's what this whole kind of thing is dedicated to. There's a special Hitman link where you can pledge money to cancer research. So that's what we're going to be doing. Like I said, keep an eye on Twitter, either on Wednesday or on Saturday. It's going to happen on one of the two. But until then, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video.